Genius or genuine garbage? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Noob Knows Movies. I am the real Bubba Hotep, and today we've got a controversial one for you. It's 2025's One Battle After Another. Let's roll that biggest pile of
Willa! Willa! It's your dad, Willa! I need to find my daughter. You understand that? Me and Willa's mom used to run around and do some real bad...
My dad told me she was a hero.
Willa!
You're in a lose-lose, maybe save your life position.
I swear to God, I will hunt you down and stick a loaded piece of dynamite right up your...
Let's do what we do.
You can save that girl.
Let's go!
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Why is this taking so long? For God's sakes, you guys are so incompetent.
One Battle After Another. Rated R. September 26th.
Going from this trailer, I thought it was going to be a movie that I was going to enjoy, all of the fanfare and it being critically acclaimed. This just goes to show you that the critics that are getting paid to give good reviews have their heads right where Leo wanted to put that hot piece of dynamite. Now, I know I'm going to have some naysayers and I'm going to have some people that back me up in the comments. That's okay. Do me a favor. Tell me what you think of this movie in the comments section. And do me a favor. Hear me out. I'm going to surprise you. I'm giving you the bad news first. Then I'll give you the good news. All right, let's get into it. First off, I will tell you that this channel is and will remain 100% spoiler free. I will never ruin a movie for you, even though sometimes I might want to. I will never reveal anything or give any leaks to spoil it for you. That being said, the bad stuff. Number one, a couple of scenes into it, very unbelievable. I was just taken right out of the movie. I said, no, that could never happen. Number two, very, very over-sexualized. In the beginning, they link almost a dirty type of sexual nature to raw violence just to make that raw violence grittier. That's the only word that I can say for it, grittier. Now, the characters, way too hyper surreal. They were just rough. I didn't like any of them. I found them to be dirty and slimy and criminal, and I didn't want anything good to happen to anyone. Even the protagonist I did not like. The movie was just so far off. It was way too political, way too racist. It reminded me of my very, very least, almost detested genre of movie, and that is the early and mid-70s blaxploitation. I never liked them. I didn't like the way they looked. I didn't like the way they were put together. And this movie reminded me so much of that. I almost got up in the first 15 minutes and walked out. But I gave it a chance. Now, after grinning it and bearing it and sitting for what felt like an eternity, 2.5 hours, way too long. I don't feel like it needed to be quite that long. I found myself actually glad that I gave it a chance, that I sat through the whole thing. I found out, to me, the movie almost came in two parts. The beginning, terrible, terrible. If I just got up and left, I would have missed a gem of a movie. I would have missed a bunch of people being at the top of their craft. And I would have regretted it. But the beginning of the movie took me out so bad. Starting out with the music, the effects, the background, everything in the first half it was off to me. I just didn't like it. The songs were okay. I like Steely Dan. I like Dirty Work. I'm a fan of Christmas music. Johnny Greenwood, not one of my favorites. I'm not a huge Radiohead fan, but he does well. I respect him. I admire him. But the music just felt off. To me, it was like some songs would have been better placed in other parts of the film. Sometimes the effects, it just seemed like it overemphasized some of the emotion, pulling me out of it. Some effects shouldn't have been there at all. Others could have used something else. Some were misplaced, and it was just wrong to me. In the first half, we'll talk about the second half later. Now, if you know Paul Thomas Anderson from There Will Be Blood, from Magnolia, I expected this type of storytelling from him. I really liked There Will Be Blood. Not a huge fan of Magnolia. Again, Magnolia was packed with stars, and I feel like that's what was the saving grace of the movie. There Will Be Blood. Come on, you can't go wrong with Daniel Day-Lewis. But I was actually a little bit disappointed to see these actors attach their name to this project. The characters, the roles, to me, they were disgusting. At first, I mean, come on, you have Regina Hall of Scary Movie. Who doesn't like Scary Movie? You have Leonardo DiCaprio. You have Sean Penn. You have Tiana Taylor, which I don't know a whole lot about, to be honest. Chase Infinity, I've never heard of her, but a very promising young actor. And you have Benicio del Toro. We'll talk about him in a few minutes. Okay, Act 2 was Paul Thomas Anderson, a genius. In the first part, it was like everybody's hair was on fire. They were running around, falling over top of each other. The roles, the characters were just terrible. The music did not fit. I did not like the cinematography. I didn't like the way it was shot. I didn't like how it looked like blaxploitation. Then, in walks Sergio St. Carlos, the sensei of the Ninja Academy. The man comes in with smoothness and with zen, and Benicio del Toro turned this movie around. This is almost hard for me to explain. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it was on accident, or I don't know if Paul Thomas Anderson did this on purpose. If he did, the man is a genius, and kudos to him. But before Benicio del Toro, BBD, the movie was kind of falling apart. It was stumbling over itself. Like I said, it seemed like everyone was running around with their hair on fire. Everything was way over the top, way extreme. Nothing fit. And then the sensei came in. And when he came in, it was almost like all of the people saw this man of calm and this man of zen and this man of ease and this man that was focused directly on the task at hand. And they stopped running around and they slowly started to get into line with him. Everything started to click. Sean Penn's character went from an uber alpha degen. I felt like I had to cover my eyes at the opening scene. It was bad, to a man on a mission. Leonardo DiCaprio, almost the polar opposite. He felt like a bumbling, stumbling follower. But after Benicio del Toro, he seemed to drop in line and focus on what needed to be done. And he became a man on a mission. The whole thing just seemed to click together and make sense. The music started to make sense and it became good. The cinematography, the fight scenes, nothing was over the top anymore. Everything seemed good. So now, on a rating between worth the price of admission, wait for it to stream, or not worth the data, that really all depends on what type of movie fan you are. If you like just going in, watching a movie for movie's sake, you like having everything spoon-fed to you, everything works, everything is well done, the storyline is great, and you don't have to put a lot of thought into it, it's not really a movie for you, and I really wouldn't waste your time. But if you really like going in and you appreciate the craft of the artists, if you really appreciate the performances, and the musical score and the cinematography and the directing, if you think all of that coming together makes for a good story, then I really think it's worth the price of admission for you. This movie will give you something to talk about with your friends. And that's my review for One Battle After Another, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I got to tell you, this was a tough watch for me, but all in all, I'm glad I watched it. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you thought I was spot on or way off, do me a favor, have a conversation with me and drop a comment into the comments section below. It helps the channel out more than you know. I know you get really tired of hearing it, but if you can leave a like, a share, and a subscribe, it helps small channels tremendously. If by some chance you have a movie you'd like to see me review, go ahead and drop it in the comments section, or you can head over to Discord, leave me a little bit of a message, and I will definitely get to the review for you. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a great day. Genius or genuine garbage?